I, 24 female, did not ask my sister, 26, to be a bridesmaid for my wedding. I decided to have just one, and I asked my best friend, who's more of a sister to me than my actual sister. I never wanted my sister to be a bridesmaid or participate in my wedding. I got engaged in 2020 when I and my fiancée lived together for the first time. We had nowhere to go and nothing to do for a few months, so I thought about it a lot, but I couldn't imagine asking her. There are two problems my family has. The first part is my sister, who is the favourite, and my parents could not imagine me not wanting her to take centre stage and become the centre of attention at my wedding. My whole life I've heard how beautiful my sister is. She modelled as a kid, and her appearance was always something a spotlight was put on. She was the star of the family, and she loved it. She always had a way to drag attention off others to herself. I was seen as the ugly duckling, and my sister had a way of nicely picking on that. If I went out with friends, she would say I should wear makeup to look nice or suggest I try to make myself look cute. She would say she was happy nobody thought we looked alike. I started dating my fiancé in high school, and it was one of the few times I was dragged to a party. He approached me and started flirting, and then my sister came over and told him that he deserved the pretty sister. He rejected her and we ended up leaving together, and we've been together ever since. But she brought it up when he came home with me for Christmas in 2019 and joked that it wasn't too late. But I think she was serious. Despite all this, my parents believe we should be super close and I should adore my sister. The other problem is my sister was diagnosed with cancer 4 months ago. The treatments have ruined her hair and she's developed some other health complications from treatment. So now everyone feels so bad for her and is gathered around her, trying to make her feel as beautiful as ever, and they want her to shine. So my parents feel like I should want to help her out by shining that light on her during the wedding. But I don't want that. I don't want her to steal the show. My parents asked me about bridesmaids a few weeks ago. I told them I'd ask my best friend. Being dense, I didn't realise where it was going, and my parents told me to ask my sister and let her be the only bridesmaid. They said my best friend should understand and be happy to step aside. The following day, my sister told me she wanted to be by my side when I got married and how we're sisters and stuff. She also tried to say she didn't know if she would be here next year, so this would be so special to her. I said no to all three of them. I said she would not be my bridesmaid or my only bridesmaid. Since I said no, they've acted like I'm some monster for this and shamed me heavily. It makes me question my saying no. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. This woman has insulted you and undermined your self-confidence your whole life and tried to seduce your partner multiple times in front of you. Screw cancer. It's sad she's dealing with that, but that doesn't erase the crap sister she's been. She's lucky she's even getting an invite. If your parents want a big party for her to feel good about, they can throw her one. Tell your family you think your sister being a bridesmaid would be too stressful for her in her delicate condition. Tell them you want her to concentrate on herself and not overextend, and you won't consider making her your bridesmaid, much less your only bridesmaid, because you want what is best for her. Maybe she can tend to the address book or something, if she's up to it, on the day. But this whole debacle is another reason some people just elope. Elope was my knee-jerk. Take your BFF and her SO or another friend to a location you live within a 3 to 6 hour travel radius and get married while there. Long weekend, Thursday to Thursday holiday, where no one in the family knows you're married until the honeymoon is over. Spring it on your parents and princess as you want to, get it out of the way so they could focus on your sick sister. I can see it now. DJ announces a sister with Opie's new husband dance, just in case she never gets to have her own first dance if she dies. Let her cut the cake, she may never get to. Let her toss the bouquet. Let her replace you on your special day. Absolutely, elope. Put the money for the wedding on a great destination instead. You just know the parents are going to find a way to ruin Opie's day if they're all there. There really is no reasoning with parents about their golden child. I, 27 male, have made my wife, 27, cry constantly over her being willingly unemployed for over 4 months. She left her last job because it was, in her terms, making her stressed. It was a 3-day-a-week, 18-hour job. She earned $600 per week. We have a joint home loan at $370,000 remaining, and our savings are sinking. I told her I supported her leaving her job under the one condition that she had more work lined up, even if it paid less. Instead, she quit the week after I said it. 3 months have passed, and she still has no job. Bills are coming in constantly, and I have taken up extra shifts to cope. But in all of this, the savings we have are dropping. Last month I started telling her she needed to find work, and she came up with a different excuse each time. I broke down the home loan repayments and explained how we couldn't afford them if she didn't work, and that we were unable to buy anything other than essentials, and she seemed to understand. After a week I asked if she'd applied to any jobs, and she said no. I blew up, yelled and told her she was being extremely unfair as I was working overtime and had little free time. In contrast, she doesn't even keep the home in order outside of doing dishes and laundry when I tell her to. This repeats weekly. Today, when I noticed she was a bit upset, I asked what was wrong and she said she wanted me to spend time with her. I have 1 day off a week and I said I would have more free time if you worked. She said, "You don't care about my feelings, you just want me to get a job." I yelled at her for letting me handle all financial responsibility again. She argues that she applied for 6 jobs, but they all asked for ID checks and she wasn't bothered to do them. I'm furious. I told her I'm not her money pig and she can get work or we are done. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You have to work overtime, which is stressful for you, yet you can't quit, but if she is stressed, she has the option to quit. How is it fake it as a loss and don't have intimacy with her? If she believes you'll leave her before she can get what she wants, she will trick you into getting her pregnant, so you will still be tied to her. If she does claim to be pregnant and you haven't touched her, get a DNA test. Good luck. Everyone's the idiot. Yelling at your spouse repeatedly isn't appropriate. Blowing up isn't appropriate. I'm sure you know that. The two of you need to be able to communicate without that happening. If this is a completely new behavior for her, is there a chance mental health is playing a role? For someone to leave one job because of stress, then get visibly upset like this, along with struggling to keep the home tidy, that's the area I would need to explore if my husband began behaving like your wife. Update: we have no kids, no pets, no yard, dishwasher, washing machine, hard floors. It takes me 2 hours on my day off to sort everything out. She can't seem to get it done, or uses "I did laundry today" to excuse why nothing else is done. Also, apparently I'm financially abusive because I don't want her spending money on luxuries while we struggle to make ends meet. Oh, and kids won't happen as she's refused intimacy for the last 6 months. I respect her decision there, but I'm disappointed. Anyway, I've decided we're getting divorced. I, 27 male, have a very strained relationship with my family, especially with my father and brother, mainly because they think my job is too girly. I'm a makeup artist. Before anyone asks, no, I'm not gay, I'm not trans. I just like the art of makeup and have always been drawn towards it. Ever since I was a teenager, I wanted to be a makeup artist or do something on that line. My father and brother always mocked me for it. Aside from the awful comments, they would tease me and bully me. My brother once broke my MAC cosmetic kit when I was 17. I bought that with the little money I'd saved up from working odd jobs. Instead of replacing it, my dad started praising my brother. Moreover, he replaced my makeup kit with cheaper, low-quality ones by saying it's all the same thing. I moved out at 18 and only contacted them on holidays and birthdays. I knew they would mock my career if I had regular contact with them. They already do it when I visit them and it's unbearable. That brings us to today. A few days ago I visited home because it was my dad's birthday. Also, my girlfriend has insisted on meeting my family. I also wanted my girlfriend to meet my family because we were getting pretty serious. And as usual, they started teasing me because of my job. Their comments were awful, combined with a bunch of misogynistic insults. My last straw came when my brother said I should start another job because painting faces wouldn't get me anywhere. He compared me to his best friend who sells sugar and said, "Selling it is more dignified than what you do." I told him to shut up. Unlike him, I'm not mooching off my father. He dares to question my job when he hasn't worked for 2 years and is too lazy to even look for one. My brother took things too far and tried to punch me, but I blocked it. If it weren't for my dad and girlfriend, they would have had to call the police. After the incident, I blocked both of them. My dad demanded an apology. I just told him to screw off and never expect another visit from me. My girlfriend was upset with me because she thought it was unnecessary for me to insult my brother. I want to know if I did something wrong because people around me are saying I should have brushed it off. Am I the idiot? Edit: my mom left my dad when I was 3. We don't know where she is, and I always grew up with the idea that I have no mom. Not the idiot in any way. Geez, what a toxic family. Go no contact for a while as you have no need to be subjected to this BS. I hate your family. Go out there and make a huge success of your skill and don't give these absolute morons any further thought for at least 5 years. No birthdays, Christmas, or Thanksgiving. Surround yourself with your girl and good friends at that time. Do not be guilted back into that house. Only go there when they stop stepping over your boundaries. And your girlfriend? She watched with her own eyes as they spewed phobic and misogynistic comments to abuse her boyfriend, and her response was to tell her boyfriend he should have toned it down? Nope, she needs to go yesterday. I disagree. It was the girlfriend's first visit with OP's family. She's only seeing a snapshot of the family. The behaviour runs deeper, much deeper, to a level that the girlfriend would probably never understand. While her comment was asinine, she's probably only trying to keep the peace. Well, I'd seriously question going further with the girlfriend. Why is it that the victim of bullying is constantly pressured to brush it off and be the better person? Why don't people tell bullies to do better? Why doesn't anyone say to the aggressor to do better? Considering your brother doesn't have a job, he really should shut the heck up at you earning a living in an honest way. He's not going anywhere without a job now, is he? And unlike his buddy, the dealer, your career doesn't break laws. So you were absolutely right to call him out on his hypocrisy. My mom had a big fight with her parents when I, 25 male, was 10. The fight was about the blended family and what she wanted it to be, and the fact that my mom didn't want my grandparents to have time with just me. She was okay if they wanted only my stepsisters or the three of us together, but she said just me left my stepsisters feeling like they weren't as special, even if they got their own time. I told my mom I enjoy spending time with my grandparents and getting away from my stepsisters. This made my mom more determined to stop the individual stuff I did with my grandparents. My grandparents wanted to give me that time and refused to stop completely, so my mom stopped me from seeing them, and we went no contact, which was not my choice. For the next 8 years, my mom would talk regularly with me about choosing the blended family over the extended family. She told me over and over that my stepsisters were my sisters, that I didn't need to say step, and that I didn't need to want family experiences without them because they were family. Since the oldest by 5 months, I should try to take on the role of big brother in a positive and loving way. She told me what my grandparents allowed was not kind and inclusive. She would ask me not to mention my grandparents or any of the extended family around my stepsisters. My mom went no contact with her siblings after they told her she went too far taking my grandparents away from me. She saw it as a betrayal that they were standing by their parents. Despite all my mom's efforts, I never saw things as she wanted me to. I continued to miss my extended family over the years and never saw my stepsisters as sisters. No bad blood as such, but we're not close, and they're not a priority for me. They wouldn't come before my closest friends, for example. I did get back in touch with my extended family once I went away to college, and we're in touch again and closer than ever. My mom disapproves, but I'm not reliant on her anymore. So here's what happened. My grandparents wanted to arrange a vacation for the family this summer. I said I would go, as did the rest of the family. Mom is the only one not invited. My aunt posted her excitement about the vacation on Facebook. I guess my mom still cyber-stalks her siblings, despite unfriending them on Facebook, because she saw the post, and I was mentioned. She had a meltdown and told me I couldn't go and shouldn't go. She told me to think of my sisters and put our family first for once. I found out 2 days later that my stepsisters were actually upset. The older of the two told me it hurt to see me care more about my extended family than them, and they told me they saw me as a brother. It stings to know that even as an adult and after 16 years as a family, I would rather have my extended family than them. Am I the idiot? Edit. Stepsister's dad's side was dead before they were born. They technically have a mom's side, but their mom and her family didn't want to have a relationship with them. Not the idiot. If your mother had not made such a big deal, then maybe your stepsisters would have spent years getting to know your extended family, and it could have turned into an entire event to which they were invited. Your mother tried to force her opinions on people, which never works. Let your sisters know that your mom created the issue. It's a vacation. You're not moving across the world to escape them. Yes, the mom is stirring the pot for the step-siblings, making it a problem. So they can get individual time with your grandparents, but you can't? I can't fathom the mental gymnastics that went on in her head to come to the conclusion that this made sense. It will always amaze me that people will not understand that forcing relationships does not work and will never work. And almost every time, it results in the exact opposite of what the idiot doing the forcing wanted. I'm laughing at the thought of your mum telling a 25-year-old man that he can't and won't go on a holiday with his own damn family members. She's unhinged. Man, don't back down. Your mom never cared about how you felt. The only thing she cares about is your stepsister. Man, go on this trip. You will feel free and happy to be loved. Because your mother is completely delulu wanting to force her choice, the new family, on you, and it's not okay at all. I, 31 female, recently inherited a significant amount of money from our parents after they passed away. My siblings, both older than me, have been pressuring me to share the inheritance equally between us. However, I've been hesitant because I'm the one who took care of our parents during their final years, sacrificing a lot of time and opportunities for my own career and personal life. Growing up, my siblings were always busy with their own lives. They moved away for college, pursued successful careers, and rarely visited home. Meanwhile, I chose to stay closer to my parents, especially when their health started declining. I became their primary caregiver, managing their medical appointments and daily needs and providing emotional support. During this time, my siblings occasionally checked in, but they didn't contribute much to our parents' care. They never took on the responsibility of caregiving or even offered substantial financial support. Despite this, they still expected an equal share of the inheritance when our parents passed away. Now that I've received the inheritance, my siblings demand their share. They argue that it's only fair since we're all family. However, I strongly believe that I deserve a larger portion because of the sacrifices I made for our parents. I feel resentful that they only started showing interest in our parents' affairs when they realized there was money involved. I've explained my stance to my siblings, who accuse me of being selfish and greedy. They argue that our parents would have wanted us to share equally, regardless of who did what during their final years. However, I can't shake off the feeling that they're trying to take advantage of me and the situation. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If your parents wanted your siblings to share in the inheritance, they would have had their wills drafted accordingly. They did not. It clearly indicates that your parents wanted to leave you everything. You sacrificed a lot to be your parents' caretaker. It's a hard job that never ends. Your siblings were content to let you assume the burden of your parents' care, thinking they would get an inheritance no matter what. You aren't being greedy or selfish, your siblings are. Keep the inheritance for yourself. The sacrifice is a good point. Being a caregiver can cause mental strain, and looking after two people by yourself in terms of effort and money isn't easy. They rarely visited, let alone gave OP some breathing room. They worked for and have careers that are paying off for them.